Why do most of the relationships in the West break up after a few days? What is the reason for this? Relationship breakdowns are not exclusive to any particular culture or region of the world. However, the cultural values and social norms of Western culture may contribute to the higher rates of divorce and relationship breakdowns observed in some Western countries. In Western culture, there is a greater emphasis on individualism and personal happiness. This can lead to a greater willingness to end relationships that are not meeting one's needs or expectations. Additionally, Western culture places a high value on romantic love and the idea of finding one's soulmate, which can create unrealistic expectations for relationships and lead to disappointment and dissatisfaction. Furthermore, social and cultural changes in Western societies, such as increased gender equality and changing gender roles, have also impacted relationships. For example, women in Western cultures are more likely to be financially independent and have greater freedom to leave unhappy relationships. It is important to note that while Western culture may have higher rates of relationship breakdowns, this does not necessarily mean that relationships in Western cultures are less healthy or fulfilling than relationships in other cultures. Additionally, the reasons behind relationship breakdowns are complex and multifaceted, and cannot be attributed solely to cultural factors. More information. In addition to the factors mentioned above, the prevalence of divorce and relationship breakdowns in Western culture may also be attributed to changing social attitudes. Over the past few decades, Western societies have become more accepting of divorce and alternative forms of relationships. This may contribute to a greater willingness to end relationships that are not meeting one's needs or expectations. Economic factors. Ist reason. The economic realities of modern Western societies, such as high levels of debt and job insecurity, can also impact relationships. Financial stress can put a significant strain on relationships and may contribute to relationship breakdowns. Second reason. Social media and technology. The rise of social media and online dating has changed the way people form and maintain relationships. While these platforms can be useful for connecting with others, they can also lead to increased infidelity, jealousy, and feelings of inadequacy in relationships. Third, mental health issues. Mental health issues such as depression and anxiety are prevalent in Western societies and can impact relationships. Partners who are struggling with mental health issues may be less able to provide emotional support and may withdraw from the relationship. Fourth, lack of support systems. The breakdown of traditional social structures such as extended families and close-knit communities in Western societies has led to a greater reliance on the nuclear family unit for emotional support. This can create a greater strain on relationships, as partners may feel overwhelmed and unsupported. It is important to note that while there may be challenges to relationships in Western culture, it is also important to acknowledge the positive aspects of Western culture, such as a greater emphasis on personal freedom and individualism. Ultimately, successful relationships require effort, communication, and a willingness to work through challenges, regardless of cultural context. More information. Sure. Here are some additional factors that may contribute to the higher rates of relationship breakdowns in Western culture. Changing gender roles. The changing roles of men and women in Western societies have also impacted relationships. As women have gained greater financial independence and opportunities outside the home, traditional gender roles and expectations around marriage and relationships have shifted. This can create confusion and tension around the division of household and childcare responsibilities, which can contribute to relationship breakdowns. Delayed marriage and childbearing. In Western societies, individuals are getting married and having children at later ages than in the past. This can create added pressure to find a compatible partner and start a family before fertility declines, leading to a higher risk of relationship breakdowns. Changing attitudes towards marriage. In Western culture, marriage is no longer seen as the only option for a committed relationship, with many couples choosing to cohabit or remain unmarried. This can create a more fluid approach to relationships, but it can also lead to greater instability and a higher risk of relationship breakdowns. Stigma around seeking help. While therapy and counseling are becoming more accepted in Western cultures, there is still a stigma around seeking help for relationship issues. This can make it difficult for couples to address problems in their relationships before they escalate to the point of breakdown. Cultural diversity. Western societies are increasingly diverse, with individuals from a range of cultural backgrounds living together. This can create unique challenges in relationships, such as differences in values, beliefs, and communication styles. It is important to remember that while there may be challenges to relationships in Western culture, these challenges are not unique to Western societies. All relationships require effort, communication, and a willingness to work through challenges, regardless of cultural context. Culture. Higher expectations. Western cultures place a high value on romantic love and finding a soulmate. This can create unrealistic expectations for relationships and put pressure on couples to constantly feel happy and fulfilled in their relationships. When these expectations are not met, it can lead to disappointment and dissatisfaction in the relationship. Individualism. In Western culture, there is a strong emphasis on individualism and personal freedom. This can lead to a greater willingness to prioritize personal needs over the needs of the relationship. When one partner feels like their needs are not being met, they may be more likely to end the relationship. Lack of support systems. As Western societies have become more individualistic, traditional support systems such as extended families and close-knit communities have broken down. This can make it more difficult for couples to get the support they need when facing challenges in their relationship. Stress and work-life balance. Western societies are known for their fast-paced and high-stress lifestyles, which can impact relationships. When couples are struggling to balance work, family, and other commitments, they may find it difficult to prioritize their relationship and invest the time and effort necessary to maintain a healthy relationship. Communication barriers. Communication is a key component of any successful relationship, but Western cultures may have unique communication barriers that can impact relationships. For example, individuals from Western cultures may be more likely to communicate indirectly or avoid conflict, which can lead to misunderstandings and resentment in relationships. It's important to remember that while these factors may contribute to the higher rates of relationship breakdowns in Western cultures, they do not necessarily mean that relationships in Western cultures are less healthy or fulfilling than relationships in other cultures. Additionally, there are many positive aspects of Western culture that contribute to strong relationships, such as a greater emphasis on personal freedom and self-expression.